morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity in the Seven Hills. We're going to get you started. Let's stand up and let's sing Now Is the Time, because now is the time. Yeah, up one more. Now is the time to open our minds and let in the light. And now is the time to open hearts wide and let in the joy. Receiving God's love, receiving God's peace. We're gathered together as one. So it's just that 3 more times. Now is the time to open our minds, let in the light. And now is the time to open hearts wide, let in the joy. Receiving God's love, receiving God's peace. We're gathered together as one. Now is the time to open our minds, let in the light. And now is the time to open hearts wide, let in the joy. Receiving God's love, receiving God's peace. We're gathered together as one. One more time. Hope you're singing online too. Now is the time to open our minds and let in the light. And now is the time to open hearts wide, let in the joy. Receiving God's love, receiving God's peace. We're gathered together as one. We're gathered together as one. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. It is a beautiful day in our consciousness. Amen?
Amen.
It's good for us to be here this morning, to remind each other of our magnificence, to support each other in our awakening and growth along this spiritual path, to be a community of healing and transformation, to be the light of the world here in Lynchburg and well beyond, to be a community of open hearts and minds, sharing our gifts, time, talents, and treasures, to be communally and globally a community that changes the world. So grateful for this time of sacred connection. Let's take a moment to gather our minds and our hearts and consciously connect with the divine within. In the awareness of our oneness, I invite you to know this with me. God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am ever one with that perfection. And we allow this perfect life, love, and substance to be through us this day. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
Good morning. Let us affirm our mission statement together. Unity in the Seven Hills is a vibrant, inclusive community that inspires individual spiritual growth through education, prayer, heart connection, and sacred service. And our vision statement. Centered in spirit, we see a world transformed by divine love, where innovative solutions are celebrated and all needs are met.
So let's get to our feet again. We've got some reggae to keep you going this morning. Not yet. Here we go. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. When you're feeling downhearted, you can't find the way, don't know where to turn. Just know your journey has started. Don't know what to say, but you know you're not done. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. You choose to live in the moment. Feel the joy down deep in your soul. When every word has been spoken, when the race has been run and your story's been told. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Let go, let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. When you're feeling downhearted, you can't find the way, don't know where to turn. Just know your journey has started. Don't know what to say, but you know you're not done. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. You choose to live in the moment. Feel the joy down deep in your soul. When every word has been spoken, when the race has been run and your story's been told. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Same words all the way through. Let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Let go, let go, let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Let go, let God. Living in the freedom and abundance of God. Come on. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, that's us. Do I have everything up here? I don't have it. Yeah, I don't have that anywhere. But so our unity principle of the week, I'll read it from there, is thoughts have creative power to determine events and attract experiences. So let's attract those experiences together. Let's read this. Thoughts have creative power to determine events and attract experiences. So our announcements for the week. Next week is the return of Unity Basics. All you have to do is join us downstairs after service for potluck, aka free food. Yes, completely free food. Well, we're all providing some food, right? Yeah. But you provide some, everybody will provide the rest. It's magic. And you will also be able to listen and discuss the origin of our 5 principles in an interactive class led by our guest speaker, Reverend Cheryl Fair, who's coming in from Richmond. So we have the great honor of gathering for a 2-day event, July 9th and 10th, with Reverend Laurie Gist in sacred discussion to dream, design, and envision. Don't miss this opportunity to share your voice and your thoughts. See the recent newsletter for details. Look for upcoming information on a special raffle to help with this 2-day event. Now, she's coming up from Florida, so. Also, today, directly after the service, Laurie Gist will be joining us for a Zoom call, so we can all stay for that and join us online, correct? Yep. If you have any questions regarding the upcoming event, you will be sure to stick around. For those at home, make sure to go to our Zoom meeting right after the service. So, Sacred Service sign-up sheets will be circulating. We need 3 or more people on Sundays to bring after-service snacks. We also have weekly watering for our perfectly pretty plants. We have specifically a need for volunteers for the 3rd and 5th weeks. If you're watching online and want to volunteer, that's you. Please let us know in the chat, call the office, or email us. So there you go. That's our sacred service. So let's bless our youth together. Let's stand and bless our youth together. You are a perfect child of God. Woo! You are a perfect child of God, and God and I love you just the way you are and wherever you are. Now, hit it. And maybe down one. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine all the time, let it shine. Come on now. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, everybody. Come on. You know the words. Light, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Kindness. I am love in action, sharing acts of kindness. It is my nature to be kind. Divine love is inherent within me, part of my spiritual identity. Opportunities abound to be kind, and I hold that intention today. Ideas will fill my mind, perhaps as a nudge to call a neighbor, send a note, extend a smile, or give a compliment. Practicing kindness includes sharing my gifts and talents in ways that allow me to express my individuality by giving of myself. Focusing on kindness, I am patient in all my dealings and resist easy judgments and prejudices. I am keenly aware that challenging situations can frustrate me, but I also welcome them as occasions to call upon my higher self as a loving and peaceful being. The more I practice kindness, the more easily it becomes the song of my heart and my way of life. Render true judgments, show kindness and mercy to one another. Zechariah 7:9.
So when I was a kid, I was very shy, and I wrote myself a poem to help me kind of step out of my comfort zone and into my future, I guess. So Never Know Blues is the first verse of this I actually wrote when I was a little kid. I lived a life of never know, always left to guess. But there's one thing wrong with never know. Never know is never yes. So I wrote that for myself. I wanted to be able to speak to girls. That was my thing. So let's hit it. Probably up one. Oh, I lived a life of never know. I was always left to guess. I said I lived a life of never know, where I was always left to guess. But there's one thing wrong with never know. Never know is never yes. Oh, I walked between the highs and lows of life, and I never took a chance. I said I walked between the highs and the lows of life, and I never really took a chance. You know I always felt the music, but I never stopped to dance. So no excuses this time, baby. I'm gonna buckle up and take the ride. I said no excuses this time, baby. I'm gonna buckle up and take the ride. There ain't no gain without the pain. I'm gonna run away, I ain't gonna run away no more and hide. So when I was like 14, 15 and I wrote that little verse, I didn't know it was gonna be a song. It took another 30 years to unveil it. And so we have unveilings in our life. We were born to be something. Born to be in a place and at a time and in a position for us to have a purpose right here. And all we have to do is unveil those things piece by piece, and we will find who we were born to be. And everybody has a purpose and a passion. So when you look out into the world and you see other people, they have a passion, they have a purpose too. So unveil that for them as well. Help them on their way. Oh, I ain't gonna live that life I've never known no more, where I was always left to guess. I say I ain't gonna live that life I've never known no more, where I was always left to guess. Ain't gonna live that life I've never known no more. This time I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes. Say yes with me. Say yes for you. Yes. Come on now. Yes.
The extrovert, the introvert.
And that's one of my yeses right there. That's my wife, Paula. So, and I spoke to her.
Reverend Ron Karstetter is an ordained Unity minister and a licensed Unity teacher. Most recently, he served as associate minister and community care coordinator at Unity of Fairfax in Oakton, Virginia. Reverend Ron is a lifelong truth student with a passion for teaching truth principles and contemplative spiritual practices as tools for personal and organizational transformation. He has a contemplative leadership style with a strong background in individual and group spiritual direction, visioning, and strategic planning to fostering organizational excellence. Reverend Ron's mission statement is, "Centered in light, I am here to support the awakening and transformation of consciousness and the healing of all that divides." Welcome, Reverend Ron.
There's a line in an old Hebrew prayer that reads, "Days pass, years vanish, and we run sightless among miracles." That said, I invite you to join me in setting an intention this morning. May our time together be an opening for the movement of grace, for a fuller awakening and enlivening of Christ in you, both individually and communally. And from that awareness, may it be an opening of minds and hearts to risk moving away from the shore, from any sense of limitation or not enoughness, and into deeper waters of awakened awareness, deeper waters where we live knowing that in, through, and as God, that all is good, that all is well, and that all is possible. There is a passage in A Course in Miracles, all that is asked of you is to make room for truth. So my invitation for you this morning is to make room for truth, so that each now moment is recognized and entered into with expectation as a God moment and a field of infinite abundance and potentiality. I'm going to touch on 3 points this morning: the mystical path and seeing ourselves as everyday mystics, living in the flow from consciousness to synchro-divinity, and maintaining ongoing connection with Source through prayer. So first, this idea of everyday mystics. I've often heard people say, in referring appreciatively to others, "She is such a spiritual person," or "He is incredibly intuitive," or "He or she has such a mystical nature or understanding." Whenever I hear this, I remember something Jesus said that is referenced in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, verse 34. "Have I not told you, ye are gods?" Not some of you here and there, once in a while, the gifted or the gurus. No, he said, you are gods. And I believe that means you and me. We are a sacred combination of both the human and the divine, spiritual beings having a spiritual experience on this human plane. All of God, present and expressing at the point of us, individualized expressions of the divine. And as such, we are invited to see ourselves as everyday mystics. The word mystics doesn't mean mysterious, and it's not about mystical experiences, though some mystics do have them. Mystics is someone who has intimate first-hand experience of God. In Unity's dictionary, the revealing word, mysticism is described as practicing the presence of God, putting God first, seeing the divine present and active in every aspect of our lives. The difference and the distinction is how that of God within is called forth, to what degree it's appreciated, honored, and perfected within us, how authentically and fully we live and express from that awareness of our oneness with goodness, allness, and love. Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore reminds us that we should understand that we are not separate or insignificant, but the vital, important, integral parts of a mighty whole. He goes on to remind us that we have these intellectual concepts of truth, but those must become concrete in our lives to be worked out. This is the key in our basic unity teachings. Knowing and understanding spiritual principles is not enough. We must put them into practice, embody them in our daily lives. Otherwise, as Fillmore said, they are merely theory. So let's unpack this theory of living in, through, and as divine flow. We live most of our lives at what the Irish poet William Butler Yeats calls the whirling circumference of life, forgetting that there is a depth within us. In mystical insight, however, we realize that there is something more involved in life, that we can't understand life by appearances at the circumference. There's always something more, something deeper, something richer, something finer. Everyday or practical mysticism is a way of seeing and being differently in the world, regardless of the facts of the day. Psalm 27, verse 13 reminds us, "I believe I shall see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living." This doesn't mean that we ignore the facts of the day while insisting that everything is fine. Instead, it means that we anchor our faith in a greater good and then consciously live and create from that awareness of God in the midst of us that is mightier than any circumstance. In his book, In the Flow of Life, Eric Butterworth writes, "The great truth taught by the mystics of the ages is life is lived from within out." This means that the whole universe is concentrated at the point where you are. More than this, you are the universe expressing as you. You are its living enterprise. It forever stands behind you with its full resources. However, the fullness of this universal support comes through you and not just to you. This is made unmistakably clear as Jesus said, "It is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom." In other words, there is a longing at the heart of the universe to flow through life and to perfect itself in all of its creation. This is the basis of all healing and success and overcoming. The kingdom within is the realm of all potentiality, all substance, all life, all love, all peace. And you are the ceaseless flow of transcendent life. But first, you must claim it. And so, what consciousness carries you? Or what thought colony do you live in? Do you live in conscious awareness of God in the midst of you, through you, as you? So I want to touch on prayer as a tool for maintaining conscious intention with the divine within us. In Unity, we believe that God is immanent, always in us, with us, through us, and we also believe that God is transcendent, omnipresence. How we engage with God has everything to do with how we experience God, and that begins and ends in consciousness and in prayer. So how do you pray? There is a common misunderstanding of the prayer process. Prayer is one of those things that we often try to do or persist at, and the power of will in prayer versus the need of willingness, of letting go and letting God. There may be a belief that prayer changes things, and when conditions seem mountainous and difficult, we may pray hard about them. But hard prayers, frantic prayers, pleading prayers are self-limiting prayers. Unity author and poet James Dillard Freeman wrote a little book entitled Be, and in a short passage he wrote about prayer. There is a prayer that asks for things and a prayer that asks for thoughts. And there is a prayer that asks for nothing but gives all. I have prayed for many things. I have cried aloud for help. I have wheedled and bargained and demanded, but what have I ever really prayed for except to know that I am a child of God? I have seen the beautiful bird of truth fly overhead, and I would hold it in my heart. Prayer is not a means of getting an answer. It is a giving away to the internal, eternal flow. It doesn't make the answer, it simply accepts the answer that it is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. To bring forth the mystic that we can be is to stop letting the three-dimensional world define us. It's about discerning the transcendent in the impermanent. Our lives are a series of now, or God moments. The fullness of God, life, love, good, abides in each of these moments, and they are indestructible and inexhaustible. To show up as fully human and fully divine is to embody that insight that you are that. You are that of God. In her book, Synchro Divinity, How the Universe Sets Us Up for Success, Unity Minister Reverend Tony Bem writes about the art of dangerous prayer, which she describes as a state of active alertness, not praying for a specific outcome which holds God's manifestations within the boundaries of our mental limitations, but a state in which we are actively surrendered to the knowing that all power is in God. There is not good God and something to overcome. There is only one presence and one power to live as. She writes that as we live in and from that awareness through conscious noticing, conscious choices, and conscious engagement of prayer and other spiritual practices, it appears we have the capacity to cultivate an environment that invites synchro-divine experiences that support our greater unfolding. Or as Eric Butterworth writes, no matter what I may think I am the flowing forth of the one. No matter what I may think I am the flowing forth of the one. It's about our lives right now and the holy ground of opportunity that is this God moment. I came across an old leadership magazine from the 1980s and a passage that caught my attention and made me laugh nervously. I'd like to buy $3 of God, please. Not enough to explode my soul or disturb my sleep, but just enough to equal a warm cup of milk or a snooze in the sun. I want ecstasy, not transformation. I want a pound of the eternal in the paper sack, please. Just give me $3 of God. That's all I want, please. If all Godness is individualized at the point of view, how much God are you willing to know of yourself and to allow to be through you? That's your homework. Are you willing to lean into the awareness that you are the vibration of God in action? Or is $3 worth of God enough for you? Also from Synchro Divinity, Reverend Tony writes that each now moment is a choice point. We can choose to live at cause or effect. We can expand or we can contract. We can open up or we can shut down. Spirit is expansive and ego is limited in its own little world. I am the vibration of God in action. I invite you to affirm that with me. I am the vibration of God in action. Take that home, work with that, lean into it, see how it feels, allow it to expand beyond any sense of limitation that you might have. The path of the everyday mystic is about living our lives in alignment with Spirit, with Source, as the vibration of God in action. And why? Because I believe that lives lived in alignment with Spirit are more meaningful, more exciting, more dynamic, and more joyful than any other way that we could choose to live. And it's not because the Bible tells us so, and it's not because our co-founders Myrtle and Charles Fillmore said so. It's because that's the experience. Our experience is that living our lives in alignment with truth putting God first, allowing our doing to flow from a sense of our being one with Source, is what gives life meaning, vitality, and joy, and creates an opening for the divine to express in ever new and more expansive ways. And so I invite you to look for traces of grace or synchro-divinity right here and now, and each God moment moving forward, finding the divine in the ordinariness of life as everyday mystics. Yes? More homework, I know. So let's be still for just a moment, if you will, and move within with a deep and intentional community breath. At the heart and root and foundation of you and of your life and of your experience is the wholeness of the universal process expressing itself as you. Just feel your oneness with the allness of the infinite. Just think of yourself for a moment as a central point of light, a point of light in the infinite light of God. You are an expression of love in the limitless love of the infinite. You are an experience of wholeness and health in the activity of the allness of healing life. You are a flow of substance within the all-sufficiency of infinite supply. And so thinking in terms of what lies before you, the journey ahead, the relationships you still have to meet with when you leave here, the home you go to, the work you go back to tomorrow, physical challenges that you might be facing. In every case, remember, you are the allness of God. The allness of God is present because you are present. You are always and in all ways an eachness in the allness of God. And so in this consciousness, I invite you to know this with me. Today, I am seeing with the eyes of the divine. I am looking at things in a perfect and direct way. I am seeing through confusion to peace, through doubt to certainty, through fear to love. Quietly then, I review myself, those around me, and everything that occupies my attention, bringing to them all a broader view, a deeper insight, a more complete perspective of the infinite harmony, which I know is back of, in and through everything that God has made. I am keeping my eyes single to this one truth. What God has done is good, therefore I am good. What God has created is wonderful, therefore I am surrounded with good. In calm judgment, then, I sit quietly within myself, and in my imagination, look around and see everything according to the divine pattern. And as I do this, everything I look upon is transformed and reborn. Friends, may you live knowing that you are the flowing forth of the one, of the divine, so that you don't run sightless among miracles. And with this affirmation on our hearts this day, let's move into a time of meditation with the song, Peace Be Still.
May peace be all upon us. We find forgiveness. May peace prevail around us. Peace be still. May peace be all upon us. We find forgiveness. May peace prevail around us. Peace be still. be all upon us. We find forgiveness. May peace prevail around us. Peace be still. Peace of mind and body, I find forgiveness. I feel the peace within me. Peace be still. Peace of mind and body, I find forgiveness. I feel the peace within me. Peace be still. Peace of mind and body, I find forgiveness. I feel the peace within me. Peace be still. Peace be still. Peace be still.
A deep community breath. We allow space in each of our services for a time of meditation, a time to come apart for a while and to rest, as Jesus often invited his disciples to do, a time of Sabbath. And so let there be a quiet time among us as we move into stillness and into the silence. Closing your eyes if that's comfortable, or lowering and softening your gaze. Feeling the rhythm of the breath. Finding the peace of just being with the flow of the breath. Letting go of yesterday or tomorrow. And feeling the restorative power of the peace in this moment. A peace large enough to open to the concerns and sorrows that trouble us. A stillness quiet enough to respond to the joys and celebrations that enliven us. There is safety here in the rhythm of the breath. Flow of life enacted with each one within us. The breath connects us in this present moment to the point at which time and eternity touch. And in this moment, we know that we are one with the one. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. With each breath, we open ourselves more intentionally, more fully, to the kingdom of heaven, that of God within. Right now, you are living in eternity. Right now, you are a child of God. Right now, you are one with your good. Right now, you are in the flow of life. Right now, God's healing, transforming power is mightily at work in you. Right now, you are in the midst of plenty. Right now, serenity of spirit and harmony of mind, body, and soul are yours, for they are part of your God nature. Right now, the all-knowing mind of God is active within you. And in communion with this mind flows pure love, divine guidance, perfect health of mind, body, and spirit, eternal possibility, and the end of all seeking. Right now, You are alive in God. So let us rest for a moment in the silence, in that awareness. I am alive in God. I am alive in God, in the silence. I invite you to take a deep, heart-centered breath as you begin to bring your attention back to this space and time. Carrying with you the deep peace of the silence into each moment, allowing it to pave the way before you, mindfully remembering the truth of your divinity that is mightier than any circumstance. With each heart-centered breath, we expand. With each breath, we allow God to be through us. And so from this place of knowing and allowing, I invite a moment of gratitude. Wherever we are, God is, good is, love is, abundance is, and all is truly well. And so as you are ready, I invite you to open your eyes to the gift of this new day and this elevated consciousness of Christ in you, your hope of glory. Peace be with you, friends. I behold the Christ you are.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Let's stand and sing. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. and the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well.
Let us affirm our abundance together. Unity in the seven hills is abundantly blessed. Creative people are drawn to us. Divine ideas flow through us. Financial resources bless us. And we accomplish mighty works together. As you are inspired today, we invite you to share your blessings with us. There are 4 ways to give: PayPal, Zelle, check, or cash. Remember on PayPal to click Sending to a Friend. We will make our abundance walk. Back row first. Place your gratitude in the basket and then walking around this way and forming a circle. If you're giving love today, please bless the basket, holding light and abundance for our mission. Now let's sing something wonderful together with joy.
Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no, it won't let go. All this love inside, we can let it shine. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no, it won't let go. All this love inside, we can let it shine. Yes, we can. Something wonderful.
Now please join us in the blessings of the gifts. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. United in mind, body, and spirit, I dedicate these gifts as they grow to bless our community, our neighborhood, and our world.
So, thank you for joining us today, whether you are here in person or out there online. Come on downstairs after service for coffee in the Namaste Cafe. For those at home, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications. Links and a calendar of events are available at unityinthesevenhills.org. Let's say that together, unityinthesevenhills.org. If you are in need of prayer, our prayer chaplains will be with you later on today, or right here in this space. A big thank you to Ron Karstetter for coming all the way from Fairfax. And some things to remember. Our new Thursday meditation right here in Sanctuary at 6 p.m. every Thursday. Also, don't forget our Unity Basics next Sunday during the potluck. And remember to stick around right after the service as we join Laurie Gist on Zoom right here in our sanctuary and there at home as well. So now let's close out by singing together. There it is. The peace song. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Thank you, everybody.